House Leader of the Official Opposition.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, the minister just used the word unprecedented. You know what's unprecedented? 37% of nurses are seriously considering leaving nursing or are already making a plan to do so. 37%. And why? As the member from Prince George Valemount just listed off, the nurses do not feel that safe in their workplace. They don't believe that this government is doing everything it can to improve working conditions. And Mr. Speaker, it's actually this Premier who decriminalized the open public use of illicit hard drugs like meth, heroin, fentanyl, and crack. It's the Premier who is the architect of this disaster. Vancouver Police Chief Adam Palmer describes the reality under this soft-on-crime Premier, and I quote, "It's an intolerable situation. You've got open drug use on the sidewalks in different neighborhoods in Yaletown, in Cole Harbour. In fact, it's all over the city," end quote. So my question to the Premier is this: when will the Premier restore order and safety, and when will he adopt BC United's policy to end his reckless and dangerous decriminalization experiment once and for all?
Minister of Public Safety and Solicitor General.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and I appreciate the question from the member. I'd like to point out that the changes that we have put in place to deal with open public drug use, as the member was just alluding to, are in fact, because of our cooperation, working closely with police, Honourable Speaker. That's exactly what we've been doing. Whether it's in our healthcare system where we work with nurses to address their concerns, whether it's working with local governments and communities to understand the nature of the problems that they're seeing in their communities, and working with police on the best way to deal with the situation. Because, Honourable Speaker, police understand that this is not a criminal issue, it is a healthcare issue, Honourable Speaker. Making sure that we've got the healthcare needs in place, making sure that police have the supports that they need. That's why we asked for the changes to take place with the exemption at the federal level, Honourable Speaker, so that we do not have to see, and the public does not have to see and tolerate open public drug use, Honourable Speaker, which has never, ever been allowed or tolerated or was ever part of decriminalization, Honourable Speaker. So we will continue to work with police, work with communities to keep our communities safe.
Member supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is breathtaking just how completely disconnected from reality this government actually is in terms of what's actually happening on the ground and what we hear described in this chamber. The minister can talk about all the work that he's doing. Aside from announcements, the results are actually terrible. Under this government, violent crime is up 37%. Homicides are up 72%. There's been a 75% increase in no-charge assessments. And under this Premier, there is a reduction in the prison population of 40%. These results are absolutely abysmal. Victoria Police Chief Dale Manick warns that the Premier's decriminalization won't actually stop the surge in violence. And I quote, "Random attacks or assaults or stabbings or any of the other violence that we see will continue," end quote. 18 months ago, it was this Premier who promised that people would feel safe in their communities. But the chaos and the violence continues to get worse and worse under his catch-and-release justice system. So the question is this: what will it take for this soft-on-crime Premier to adopt BC United's policy to end his reckless decriminalization experiment and stop his failed catch-and-release justice system?
Minister of Public Safety.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. And again, I appreciate the question from the member. And I'd like to point out a couple of things to the member on what he's talking about. Yes, Chief Dale Manick said it's not a silver bullet for stopping violence. It is the right approach in terms of decriminalization. He agreed with the changes that the government has been making, as have police, saying this is the right approach to take because it is a health issue, not a criminal matter. On the issues of violence, Honourable Speaker, that's why we put in place the Revoy program, which, when they sat on this side of the House, Honourable Speaker, they had that program. They cancelled it, Honourable Speaker. They cancelled it. When it comes to decriminalization, Honourable Speaker, again, we've had the words from Chief Manick saying that it is the right approach. I quoted members from the opposition. They don't like to hear the quotes quoted back about how they support with all their heart. well, perhaps they'd like to listen to someone who ran for them, Honourable Speaker, and their comments on the changes that we made last Friday. Your former candidate from Richmond in the last election, Richmond City Councillor Alexa Liu, agrees with that what we're doing is the right approach, saying the changes are a pretty good balance. I quote, "I think it's a pretty good balance. We aren't looking to fill prisons with people using drugs, but we are trying to have it not happen in the public eye, Honourable Speaker." That's what people were concerned about. They believe it's a health issue. They know it's a health issue, but they shouldn't have to put up with open drug use, Honourable Speaker. That's what the communities wanted. That's what the police wanted, the tools to deal with it. That's what we've put in place, Honourable Speaker, and we will continue to do that by working with communities, the police, and health experts.